Hello there, this is Jimmy Hoppers, and in this video I'm going to briefly explain the combat sequence I used whilst using the warrior with the rifle equipped.
Your points, seize theirs.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the abilities you have as a warrior whilst having the rifle equipped. First of all, you have your bleeding shot. Now that's just your bog standard attack which does a little bit of damage and adds a bleed onto your opponent. Your second shot is the aim shot, which performs a cripple on your opponent, which lasts for 5.5 seconds, so it's pretty useful. And the cripple basically is a condition that stops them from moving as fast. I think it decreases their movement by 50%, something like that. Your third shot is your volley, and that is just a sustained damaging attack. It doesn't add any extra conditions or anything like that, but it does do a decent amount of damage. Your fourth shot is your brutal shot, which does add a condition, which is vulnerability, which basically increases the amount of damage all subsequent shots do by how many stacks of vulnerability you have on your opponent. Brutal shot adds 5 stacks of vulnerability onto your opponent, so all your subsequent attacks on that opponent whilst the vulnerability is on them will do 5% more damage. So generally speaking, you want to use brutal shot and then follow it up with your more damaging attacks like volley. Your fifth skill is rifle butt, which knocks your opponent pretty far away. It's a handy little skill, but it can be tough to land. And your final shot, your burst shot with the rifle, is Killshot, which is a very powerful damaging attack which uses your adrenaline bars. It has a few negatives to it, such as planting you in the ground whilst performing it, and also taking, I'm not sure how many seconds, a couple of seconds to perform, but it does do a lot of damage. Okay, this is my combat sequence when using the warrior equipped with a rifle. Now, generally speaking, you want to use 2 and 4, or 4 and then 2. Now, I prefer 2 and then 4, essentially because it's the better way to do things. 2 will cripple your opponent, and that's also an instant shot. It comes out immediately, whereas brutal shot will have a little bit of a cast time to it before putting that vulnerability on the opponent. So you can brutal shot them and then do a little bit more damage with your aimed shot, but I prefer to keep as much space between me and my opponent as possible, so I prefer to use 2 first, get that cripple on them immediately, and then start going for the brutal shot. After the brutal shot, that's when you want to start using your more damaging attacks, such as volley or kill shot. Now ideally, if you have 3 bars of adrenaline, I'd go straight for kill shot, due to there still likely being a little bit of space between me and my opponent, who should still be crippled. So that'll buy me that little bit of time I need to perform the kill shot, and then by the time that's actually done, they'll probably be right on top of you. Alternatively, right after using your brutal shot, you can use your rifle butt to knock them away and then go into kill shot, and then as soon as that's done, go straight into your volley. If you're performing these one after the other, the 5 stacks of vulnerability which you put on with brutal shot should last throughout your whole kill shot and your volley, so you'll be able to gain full 5% extra damage to them whilst performing your high damaging moves. Now, a few things about Killshot. It is a very powerful attack, but it does have a few problems with it, such as it planting you in the ground and taking a few seconds to actually perform. There isn't actually a whole lot of difference between a level 1 adrenaline Killshot and the third one, but ideally I'd like to get 3 bars of adrenaline before I use Killshot, because I don't want to have to perform it a few times in a battle. I'd rather perform it as few times as possible and make those few times count, just due purely to the fact that you're stuck in the ground and it has quite a long cast time on it. Also, to ideally get off your kill shot, you want to not just throw it off at any point during the battle. You either want to create some distance using something like rifle butt or bowlers, or you want to wait for a good point in the battle where your opponent is perhaps highly damaged and tries to run from you, and then as they're running, quickly wind up the kill shot. You don't want somebody beating the hell out of you whilst you're performing it, or at least not up close. Because generally if they're hitting you up close, they're probably going to have some attack in their repertoire that can daze you or suddenly halt your channeling of your kill shot, which makes all the time you spent trying to charge it up wasted. The one other problem with kill shot is the fact that it stands out a mile away. You get down on one knee and start aiming the gun at your opponent, and due to the amount of time it takes, if your opponent knows how a rifle warrior works, Even if they don't, so long as they've seen something on the Rifle Warrior before, they probably know what your kill shot looks like. So as soon as you start performing it, they'll start dodging out all over the place or go invisible, do whatever they can to avoid getting hit by it, basically. So Frenzy, or even just proccing quickness off of your normal attacks, is a great thing to use before going into your kill shot. Now after your kill shot comes Volley, which does a nice amount of damage, and you can move whilst using it, or strafe around people whilst blasting them in the face, and then it generally for me goes back to my aim shot to cripple them again, and get space between me and them. And back around and round and round through those sequences. But you don't have to do that. Obviously, you'll have other weapons, and if you've got a particular way of weaving them into your combat sequence, then you'll probably have an even better routine to go through. One other small thing to note: if you are using a Rifle Warrior, you've likely gone down the arms tree a little bit just to get crack shot at the very least. But then if you put another 5 points into arms, you get a trait which allows you to perform 10% more damage on your opponent if they're bleeding. Well, your first attack causes bleeding. So, in order to get an extra 10% damage off of your big damage shots, i.e. your kill shot and your volley, you want to stick bleed in there, in that sequence somewhere. And so with this trait, I think the ideal sequence is probably to begin with 2, obviously to cripple them, 4 to put vulnerability on them, then, depending on how close they are to you, use your 5 to knock them back, then put on your bleed to guarantee the next 10% extra damage, then go for your kill shot, and then go into your volley. Again though, with the rifle butt, there's no particular time to use it. Really, the time you want to use it is when the enemy's close to you. Or you simply want to just create some space between you and them for whatever reason, perhaps just to heal, or perhaps to get off a kill shot. Of course, if kill shot isn't ready, or you just simply don't want to use a level 1 or level 2 kill shot, then go straight into your volley. It does a lot of damage and you can stay on the move whilst using it. There are certainly times where you may want to consider using a level 1 or level 2 kill shot. As said before, the damage between them all isn't that massive. The only reason why I generally want to pull off a level 3 one is because it does do the most damage, and because by using that one I won't have to be pulling off lots of little kill shots all over the place, which takes a lot of time to do and makes you very vulnerable whilst you're planting the ground. But if the situation calls for it, then most definitely use a level 1 or level 2 kill shot. If your opponent's really low on life and you haven't quite got 3 bars, and say they're a certain distance away from you so that you can not guarantee a kill shot, because you never really guarantee one, but you're likely to be able to get one off, then go for it. If they're running away and you can pull one off, they'll probably do enough damage to put them down, then go for it as well. You don't want to just limit yourself to only using level 3 kill shot, especially when the level 1 and level 2 versions still do quite a lot of damage. To put it simply, if the situation calls for it, then just use whatever kill shot you have available. Yeah, I think I've been waffling on for long enough now, especially about bloody kill shots. So yeah, keep in mind, I don't always practice what I preach. I attempt to, but I'm not very good. So despite me saying, ideally you should go 2, 4, blah blah blah, I might press all the buttons in a random sequence and hope for the best. Not because I want to, but because sometimes I just get lost as to what's going on and what I'm supposed to be doing, basically. That's also the reason why you may have heard so many cuts in my commentary throughout all this. It's because I'll start talking about something and then have a complete mind blank and have no idea what to say next. So yeah, those are the Rifle Warrior skills, and that is the order in which I generally use their skills in. But again, what it all really comes down to is situational awareness. I mean, there'll be times where you don't want to take your conventional lines because there'll be reasons to just do other things. There'll be reasons to use your kill shot first, or to knock back your opponent and then use your aimed shot and then run away, or something like that, you know. Generally speaking, the combat order will do a nice solid amount of damage, and it will just be a nice sequence to go through to achieve what you want to achieve. But the situations will always change, and as they do, being able to think on your feet and choose the appropriate sequence of attacks for the situation you're in will be the best thing you can do.
Your team is victorious.
I hope this video was at least slightly informative and not completely shit. Hopefully my audio will get better. I mean, as I get a better microphone, it should get better. And as I get better at editing, it should get better. And as I learn about what is worth saying and what isn't, such as all this that I'm saying right now, which probably isn't and I should really delete, but I'm not going to because I've just started on it. Yeah. Bye bye!